Hi, YouTube. I guess I got it right this time. I'm so sorry about last week. I didn't get a chance to have you guys interact because I accidentally labeled this as for kids. It is not. It's not that it's not necessarily for them, but you know how this goes. So I just picked a topic this morning because my kids and I have been drinking a lot of tea lately. So a lot of people like tea, a lot of people don't like tea, but I just thought I would tell you a little bit of why we drink tea, give you a little of my own personal insight and experience with tea. Um, do do you guys, does anybody out there drink cold water? Maybe you could put it in the comments, when you see this video or whatever. Let me know what your thoughts are on cold water. Drinking cold water or, drinking room temperature water or even hot water, you know. And I know when I was growing up, when I was younger, we were told that cold water is not good for you. And then I heard conflicting things like it is good for you because it causes the metabolism to speed up because it has to work hard to bring the water to the body's room temperature. And so whenever your body has to do work, that is usually speeding up the metabolism, right? When it has to do work in a good way. But, I don't know, growing up playing outside, in the late 70s and 80s, we drank a lot of cold water because, when you run around playing outside, you're hot, you're working up a sweat, right? So I drank a lot of cold water, but like as far as with your meals, I know if you drink cold water, it can slow down the process of digestion. And that's, whether you drink it after your meal or not. Everybody should know by now that drinking water with your meal slows down digestion, proper digestion. So, because the body can't assimilate the nutrients and things that it needs if you're gonna interfere with the process when you're eating. But getting back to tea, I like to use illustrations to help people understand why simplicity makes sense, right? So if you had, and I'll give you an example of like in my kid's bathroom, my son, he had a lot of hair in the sink that built up over time from washing his hair in the sink, and then the drain got clogged. So in order to unclog the sink, I ended up pouring like boiling hot water down the drain and plunging it. Now, if I had done that with a colder amount of water, do you think it would have worked the same when you're trying to, get the sludge down? Because the hot water helps to melt the undesirable things that's in the drain, right? So if you kind of relate that to how it is when you drink hot tea, especially like maybe first thing in the morning, right? Or let's say you're trying to beat a virus. If you're trying to combat a cold or you have a lot of mucus buildup, the hot water is not going to, the cold, if you drink cold water, that's not going to do anything but slow things up, right? Kind of like freeze them into place. But if you drink something warm and even better, something hot, it's going to help it dilute the mucus, even, shedding the outer shell of the virus that you may have lurking. So, yeah, we've been drinking a lot of echinacea, organic echinacea, and I even put antiviral oils in our tea. Well, just one drop, but different oils that I'll do. Um, I did ginger for my kids because it's a little tastier. In mine, I put oregano. Um, but if you drink the hot tea, you know that you're going to have better results with whatever it is you're trying to fight if you're fighting a virus. Otherwise, if you do this on a regular basis, in the mornings, at night, or even if you like to sip tea throughout the day, you're going to give yourself a really good chance to become immune to viruses attacking your body. So that's what we like to do. We like to drink tea. It helps because there are times, and this is kind of a continuation from last week when I was talking about my children having asthma and allergies. There are times where it can sneak up on you and you don't realize that they are having difficulty breathing. And sometimes it shows up at night more than it'll show up during the day. So if I'm not paying attention to it, then at night it can get pretty bad. And we moved away from a geographical area that was really bad on their health. So now that we're in a place where we don't need as much attention to be given to their, respiratory problems because they're almost non-existent, it kind of creeped up on me when the weather changed and it went from warm to cool. And now we're having a little bit more frigid weather. So that, makes the airways constricted. You know how like in the geographical locations where you have hot and cold, you have summers and you have full-fledged winters, the pavement will expand and contract. In the summertime, it's fine, right? But then in the wintertime, it tends to crack and you get potholes and all that kind of thing. So that same thing happens with your airways in the warm weather and then in the cold weather. In the warm weather, it's relaxed, but in the cold weather, it tends to get a little more restricted, especially if it goes from hot to cold in the same day. Let's say you have a 30 degree temperature change all in one day. Then that's not necessarily the best thing for people with, breathing problems. So, but that's one of the ways you can help keep things relaxed. So since I didn't notice that, my youngest was having a little bit of respiratory distress. I mean, minor, not nothing major, but I noticed at night that he just sounded a little more winded than he normally does. So I had been giving him ginger in his echinacea tea. And as soon as he drinks the hot tea, he's like all good and rested. I still do put the oils on their chest and neck to make sure that it helps to relax the area and relax them. So I just wanted to let you guys know, just break it down, like why tea is good for you. Of course, the properties in the tea are, they help you. They have antioxidants. They can be antibacterial, antiviral, and just pick a really flavorful tea that you like. They all pretty much have these properties in them. Grocery stores, they're good. Health food stores, even better. But when you're adding the herbs in the tea, on top of the hot drink, you now have something more powerful to go in while the heat of the, boiled water is going in and clearing any sludge. You're also adding some medicinal properties when you're having the tea. So it's really good to make sure you have these, especially during these critical weeks of the cold winter. More and more people are coming down with the virus and, going into the hospital. Some are not, these are causing fatalities for people with pre-existing problems, as we already know that people with respiratory problems have a harder time, obviously, right? So just be mindful, and I hope this information helps, and I will talk to you guys next Wednesday. I think I'll do another video tomorrow, but it won't be live. So maybe I'll see you guys a little bit more often. But let me know. Tell me like what your preferences are in terms of water temperature when you do drink water. All right, I hope you guys have a lovely day. Talk to you soon.